One of the things we get asked a lot here at Sedgwick County Zoo is, what happens when all the guests leave? Closing the zoo actually happens at different times depending on where you work at the zoo. Our mammal department generally comes in a little bit earlier to get everything rolling for the day. Because of that, there's always 2 people here at any given time. So towards the end of the day, they're working together in teams, so there's no reason for them to call out or to let anybody else know that they're clear of those areas. But the bird department is different. They're actually working in 2 different areas. So one of the last things they do before 5 o'clock is call out to each other, just so each other knows that they're clear of animal areas and to see if their partner in the bird department needs any help with anything. Now, the big exception to all that is right here in our farms area of Sedgwick County Zoo, where our farms keepers have a second shift. Now, the first part of that is for all of the animals in the African barn to go ahead and go to pasture. Now, pasture is an amazing thing, and as far as I know, we are the only zoo in the nation where our domestic animals leave their barnyards when the guests leave and goes down into the pasture for the night. It's a fun time. As a matter of fact, we consider it one of our guest encounters here at the zoo. So if you happen to be at the zoo at 4:30, what we ask that you do is to line up along the white fences at the end of the barn and watch as those animals all parade out to pasture. Sedgwick County Zoo is a big place. As a matter of fact, we're over 200 acres. So as you can imagine, it takes zoo security just a little bit of time to clear the zoo. And once they have all the guests out of the zoo, then they call to our second shift keeper here in the children's farms and let them know that the zoo is clear for the evening. Now, as our zoo security is leaving, our hired security comes in for the night. Now, we do things like creature campouts and nocturnal adventures where guests can actually come and spend the night at the zoo and experience all the zoo has to offer. But in the evening, different animals wake up. Also, because it's generally quieter, you hear noises that you might not have during the day. One of the things that I love to hear is Michael the lion. Now, we hear him roaring during the day every now and again, but at night he roars like you can't imagine. In fact, he can be heard over 2 miles away when Wichita is quiet. So that's one of the really interesting things to hear. The maned wolf might be barking, and the Mexican wolves might be howling. Well, I've been here at Sedgwick County Zoo for over 20 years, and I have loved every minute of it. But one of my fondest memories now, maybe not at the time, was the night that I got to spend the night out in our farm's pasture in a truck. Well, we had one of our cows that wasn't feeling well. So once she was laying down, the other cows decided this was their time to try and maybe outrank her a little bit. So we got a call from our night security that there was a cow down in the pasture and that the others were picking on it. So after trying a variety of different things, we finally decided the best idea was to just drive one of the trucks out there. I drove the truck out there, parked it right next to the cow that was laying down, and stayed in the truck the rest of the night. The draft horses that we had, they came and tried to disassemble the back end of the truck. That was their goal. The miniature donkeys, well, they couldn't get the back of the truck, so they just went after the side mirrors. Some of the cows used the truck as a scratching post. Some of the animals came and just stared at the windshield, wondering what was going on. And the one thing I noticed is the only animals that could have cared less that I was out there were our small guinea hogs. Come morning, we were able to get the cow up that was down, got her in, and it turned out that she was having a problem with her eyesight. Since she couldn't see as well at night, she decided the best thing for her to do was to lay down. Once it was a little brighter, we were able to get her up. We were able to have her follow the fence and get into her barn again, where we were able to check her out. From that point on, we decided it wasn't a good idea to have her go out to the pasture at night with the rest of the animals. So she got to go out to the pasture during the day and enjoy the pasture then, and then she would come in at night so she could spend that time in her bedroom. So at any given time here at the zoo, there is lots of activities, because ultimately our #1 goal is to make sure that the animals have the best care they could possibly have, whether that be at 2 o'clock in the afternoon or at 2 o'clock in the morning.